excited today on Her Oklahoma Story. We're going to be talking about the Lawton Business Women's Club, and we're going to talk to two vibrant women who are going to tell us all about what's going on and the fact that this is the centennial celebration and all the things that are happening surrounding that. First of all, we're going to be visiting with Miss Kirsten Sellens, and she is going to talk to us about the history of this organization and find out how long you've been a part of it.
So I have been part of Lawton Business Women since, probably about 2014. I got voluntold by Christina Woodson, you will join. And I did, because Christina's a little scary. But and I wasn't able to really start attending meetings till I moved on to a different job. And then I started attending meetings, and within about 3 meetings, I was on the finance committee, and I was the finance chair, and then I was the secretary, and then I continued being the secretary.
So there's no idleness going on.
At least not for me. I mean, the amount of stuff we do is just incredible. And we have our hands in kind of so many different things, and have been since our inception. It's been amazing.
This is the centennial year, but you know the history. Tell us where this organization has been, where it's come from.
So, established in January 7th in 1926, there was about 14 women that got together and said, I think we need to have a business women's luncheon group, which I wasn't sure back then what a luncheon group meant, but it turned out to be something totally different. I mean, once they decided on constitution and bylaws, they started rocking and rolling. Almost from the beginning, they started giving out scholarships to college students going to Cameron. I mean, it probably wasn't but $20, but back then $20 was a lot of money.
That was a book.
Yeah, exactly. They started discussing and fundraising and talking to the city a lot, and we need street markers. Nobody knows the names of these streets. Nobody's carrying a map around. So they started fundraising for that, purchased enameled cross street names, and started with downtown Lawton. I mean, who does that? I mean, they saw a need,
right,
and they just went for it. And that carried through the 1940s.
Of course, they probably had to, because, husbands get lost, so gotta give
Amen to that. Amen to that. That's right. And they don't ask for directions.
No. You need a street name. Yes.
But, it amazed me, like, in their first year, they organized downtown to get lights up for Christmas and trees in front of every one of the businesses.
I miss that.
To draw people in to purchase during Christmas. And yes, I miss it too. I mean, in 1929, so they started in 26, 1929, they go in front of city council and said, we need a milk ordinance, which I know. I started reading, I said, I got to read this. And milk provided was not tested. So people were getting ill and getting botulism.
Oh, my word.
And so they hounded the city for, and within a year, they had a milk ordinance to have all milk sold tested. And funnily enough, there was not a federal enact of pasteurization until 1973. These women were progressive.
Ahead of their time.
I mean, I could only be half of these, what these women were. They were amazing.
Now, having gotten started in 1926, when did they see the need and understand that there needed to be an integration into the organization? Because 1926, that's a whole nother world.
Well, absolutely. And it came from, actually, everybody thinks World War II is when women started going into work during, when everybody was gone. It really started with World War I. Those men all had to go off to war. Who was going to work? It was going to be the women. So, and out of that, when they came back, they were like, okay, everybody can go back to their homes. Well, women were going, wait a minute, I can do this job.
Right.
And, you know, people, it was not the social norm. So they were like, no, you can't. You need to stay home. So I think, honestly, this organization kind of came out of that, plus the ability to vote now. They had just recently gained that right. And I think the women here locally felt that women needed to step up. You needed to become educated in politics. You needed to find out where your voice is. What do you feel? You know, what's important? You needed to start learning about how to run a household, a budget. You know, even though women probably were doing it, but there were probably better ways. I mean, this organization, I think, started in one direction and just expanded into this is going in a way better direction, you know, educating. So it's oh, I'm telling you.
There had to be a lot of firsts in this organization. The first woman who did this, the first woman who did that. Do we have any of that? I mean, I know Dr. Rose has been there for a long time, but she wasn't there in 1926.
No.
So, you know, the first woman who instead of just be working, had an actual business. The first woman who, first minority, the first, you know, the whole gambit of first.
Yeah. So the first president was part owner. Her and her husband owned Hornday Greenhouse that was on Ferris for 50 years. So where on Ferris it was, I'm not 100% sure. But so, and she was a force to be reckoned with. You know, I haven't got to the point yet. I'm not complete, but I haven't gotten to the point of who the first maybe Hispanic president was, or the first, when did they first allow women of color in? I don't know that. I do know from doing some of this research that in Lawton, a segment of the community, women created the Colored Business Women and Professionals Club because apparently back in that time they were not allowed in, so they created their own. And I actually found some of that history. So I'm kind of excited about that. Not as much history, and that made me kind of sad, you know, but, you know, so some of the firsts, you know, there's kind of too many to count because I'm always celebrating every woman that we come across as a first, if that makes sense.
Sure, of course, because we have a lot of things that we do and we're involved in and we bring to the table of life and stuff, and so that is always so amazing to me. I know that my son and my husband say, you know, you're a chauvinist. I'm not a chauvinist. I'm just pro-woman. I really am, but I'm not pro-woman to the exclusion of men. It's just that I see and understand the value.
Well, and I think part of it's the age of where you and I are at versus Patricia, who Patricia is just such an amazing girl. But I remember when I wanted to open a savings account, I had to have a man help me open back in the 70s. You had to have a man on your account.
I remember Edna Hennessy telling me the story of when she first got started. She couldn't go out there and get that stuff by herself. So when she was able to finally go out and get it herself, that was monumental. I love that woman.
I mean, 100%. And so the younger generations don't realize that piece. They don't realize, you know, about Equal Rights Amendment. That's still not 100% ratified. You know, I mean, there's so many pieces that they're starting to find out, and I was able to share at the birthday party that a lot of women did not know that you had to have a man sign a business loan, you know, be on your checking account. You couldn't have your own. Even if you were widowed, you had to have a man on your account. It's crazy.
I tell you what, and all. How do you see, and this is just kind of a side thing, but how do you see this organization being relevant in what we're seeing now politically and what we're seeing now with immigration, what we're seeing now? And do you see this organization able to be a part of that, or is it going to be more of where it is now as far as, you know, which is not a bad thing, but I just want to understand what the outlook is down the road.
It's trying to balance the politics. And that's, from what we have heard, one of the reasons we're no longer, the state chapter closed down. There was an event in mid-2000s that caused a collapse of that because one side thought politically about a certain situation and another, so they just couldn't come together. So I think, though I am not for that, I think people should have conversations and be able to have those conversations without, I'm right, no, I'm right.
Right.
And I know it's hard, but I think we should be able to do that. And immigration, absolutely at this point, it has to have, the conversations have to occur, and that comes from education.
It does, and there's a place for compassion in the whole thing, and I think that's what people are forgetting.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because I, again, have seen over the years, I've seen this organization, and I've been away, and I came back, and, it's still meeting. What? Okay, great. And, of course, like I said, the fashion show and those things that mean we're girly girls, but we know how to get it done at the same time.
100%, and normally it's like, problem identified, problem solved. We adapt and overcome.
And that's what we do.
100%, that is what
What
we
would
do.
you tell a woman who is not a member? What would you tell her to say, hey, you know what, you need to take a look at this?
And I've done that quite often. We've had some visitors, and they'll end up sitting next to me, and I'm sure I look a little scary. And then I just start chatting with them, and they're like, what's this about? And so I tell them, to me, and that's kind of where I found each one of us has a different reason for going. It's, for me, it's connecting with other women. Believe it or not, friendships. If it wasn't for this group, I had a grandchild that was born at 24 weeks, and she was in NICU for 6 months. If it wasn't for these women, they prayed for me. They text me. I have never had that kind of outpouring in my life. I mean, there were women I knew from Lawton Business Women that got my phone number and said, hey, this is so-and-so. I just want you to know I'm thinking about you. What can I do? And that just kind of took me back. And I went, okay, women aren't evil. They're good.
We're not all menopausal.
No,
We're not all.
But I mean, what an outpouring! What a beautiful thing to feel that love. So, and I share that story with some gals, and they're like, oh, okay. So I've got a place where maybe if I have a problem, I can go and get an answer, or somebody can just direct me where to go.
Right. So wonderful. Thank you so much for talking with us today. I love hearing the history, and I know at the last meeting, Dr. Rose went over the history, and it was just really interesting to listen to. And I love the passion that I hear in you when you talk about it. And we're going to visit with the president, Patricia Williams. And
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Where else on earth can a 60-year-old woman be really good friends with a 31-year-old? I mean, it is, and because of Lawton Business Women. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. And you know what? Bridging that gap over there and all, it's just is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Well, welcome to Her Oklahoma Story. I'm Tara Jones, and we are going to talk about an organization here in Lawton just for women, and that makes sense because this is a show for women. I am so excited to introduce to all of you this lovely lady. She is our president, actually, for the Lawton Business Women Club.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is an organization that's been going on for a while, but we're going to find out how it started, why it started, and what the whole point is and stuff. And I want to just start out by saying that people many times don't understand the need for an organization for women. They just don't understand what that's all about. So tell us, first of all, before we get into that, introduce yourself. Tell us about what you have done, how you came to this point of being the president of this organization.
So my name is Patricia Williams. I first learned about this organization working at my day job, State Farm, Vincent Saylor State Farm, and it was a way to get out, network sell insurance, obviously. And then when I got to the organization, I thought it was a networking thing. And then I learned, like, no, these ladies have missions and values and things that they plan to get done in the community. So I learned more about the mission. The mission is to help women in all stages in life through education, advocacy, and awareness. So I was like, okay, I like that. Then I found out we do scholarships for young women. And I absolutely love that because I went to college and paid for it with student loans. So when I found out, like, there's an organization in Lawton that gives scholarships back to young women in Lawton to continue their education or to start their education like that, they had me hooked at that point. So I just joined, and I got extremely active. I'm just curious by nature of how everything works. And I joined the membership committee, basically joined all the committees. And we are kind of in a time right now where volunteers for community organizations are very scarce. So when they find somebody that seems like they're all in it and they're ready to do whatever, I think they latch on to you. So I think that's how I ended up becoming president, because I was eager to learn every committee, learn all of these women's names. I was just fascinated and inspired. So that's kind of how I fell into the president position. But I'm just so honored because at first I'm like, oh, we do all these great things. And then our historian started looking up our history, and I was like, oh, my God.
It is very rich. It is very rich.
It's so inspiring how in the 1920s, a group of women, when we're taught in school, like, all of the obstacles, women didn't have really any rights back then. And this group of women, it was about 10 ladies, got together, and they were starting a movement. And this movement was starting all over the United States, starting at 1919. And we developed our organization in 1926. So it was definitely a women's business movement going on. We had decided that when the men went to war and we were working in the factories and they came home, we didn't want to go back to just being homemakers. We could do both. So a movement started all over the country. And today, Lawton Businesswomen, I believe, is the only business women's organization that was birthed from that national level that still exists in Lawton or in Oklahoma today, because there was a Frederick women's business organization. There was Walters. They were everywhere, and we're the only one that still exists. And I think that says something about how we've adapted over time. And I love it. I am so honored. The more and more I learn, I am absolutely honored to especially be the president during our centennial year.
Of course, of course. Now, are you a native Lawtonian?
Yes, ma'am. Born and raised. I am a Wolverine.
See, I knew there was something. I knew there was something. Yes.
I am a Wolverine, and then I went to the University of Oklahoma for college, but I ended up coming back here due to some health issues with my mom. But yeah, I am born and raised here. And as a teenager, I knew nothing about Lawton Businesswomen. So when I joined, I just wanted to shout from the rooftops to girls that honestly look like me, to let them know, like, there's scholarships out here. We just got to fill out an application.
Yeah, yeah. And that's, a lot of times I think that's it, in that people don't really know what's out there and stuff. So, of course, years ago when I lived here, I was a part of the organization.
Yes.
And the name was different then, but you've kept the same momentum, the same goals as before. And some of the women who were a part of it then are still a part of it. So it's so good to see the longevity.
Yes, I think we actually got some pictures of you in one of the ladies' scrapbooks.
I've got to see that.
Yes,
I'm scared to see that.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. So, a lot of times when women get together, we start on a path, and then we maybe get veered off a little bit. But what's kept this organization on the path that it started on?
I will say our mission has changed, has varied a little bit over time, but it's always kind of been the same core values of supporting women. when we first started, we weren't connected to that national organization yet. We started it kind of on our own, and then we merged to have more support at a national level. And at that time, our motto had been a better businesswoman for a better business world. And now our motto is women supporting women. But I think what kept us is, honestly, a lot of these ladies' passion for this organization to keep it going. Because we've noticed in our history, I mean, we've had highs of hundreds, 200 members in our small organization in Lawton to going as low as 20 members and going back up. And we've noticed trends. A lot of those trends, something's also happening in the United States at a national level that kind of brings our membership down. But I think it's finding those ladies that you can tell are truly passionate about women that keep this organization going and keep it alive. We have one member, a lot of people know her, Dr. Rose.
Yes.
She has been president 4.5 times. She ended up finishing one president's presidency. And just women like Dr. Rose that are like, this organization does too much good for us to fall apart.
One of the things that I love is that at one point in time, it was professional business and professional women and all. But now, you don't even have to have a job. You can just come and be a part of what's going on. And it's not a hen party. It's not a hen party. You know, people think, oh, women get together. No. I mean, the things that we talk about are really vibrant and viable things that people need to know. And all. How do we connect? How does the organization connect into the community? I know you talked about the scholarships.
So we try to volunteer as much as we can. Like every United Way Day of Caring, we are always a big part of that. We have had ties with Marie Deddy. Marie Deddy was actually one of our presidents in 1954. So we've had strong ties with giving back to the Marie Deddy, specifically New Directions. So just volunteering as much as we can. I've learned recently with the new age to communicate as much as I possibly can on our Facebook platform to let people know what's going on, especially to share what other nonprofits are doing in this community. Because like we just said, some people just don't know. It's not that they don't want to help, they don't want to be involved, they don't know that these things exist. So we try our best to volunteer as much as we can, because these ladies a lot of them are working women and do own their own businesses. But when we have that free time, we do try to give back and try to volunteer as much as we can. We do the Alzheimer's Walk, Oklahoma Parkinson's Walk. We're helping out with their fundraiser coming up next month. I believe it's on February 20th. But yeah, we just try, especially when nonprofits come to us also, we try to do what we can to be a part of it.
I was going to ask that. When you're kind of, I don't want to say it in the wrong way, an organization for rent. You know, hey, y'all call us, we'll come, and we'll be a part of what you're doing as
Let us know.
And stuff. So that's really good, because a lot of the women, all of the women, have something else going on, whether it is business, ministry, whatever the case may be, home, whatever. And when they're involved with something, it comes to the table for everybody to find out about.
Yes.
So I think that is really good, because it says you don't have to give up what you're doing. You don't have to give up who you are. You can just continue to do that and be that and what have you. So we're getting ready for the 100-year celebration.
I'm so excited. It's crazy. 100 years. Yes, our centennial celebration, we just had our birthday on January 7th. We were founded on January 7th, but we do a fundraiser every year. For years, decades, actually, we've always done a fashion show. This year, we're doing things a little bit differently for our centennial fundraiser. There will be a fashion show aspect, but we are kind of using the fashion show as a tool to present our history to the city or to the people that will attend. And I think people will really love to see that we've done a lot of things that we have in Lawton. These ladies actually kind of pioneered. So I just can't wait to share, and Kirsten will probably share some of those things with you. It's super cool to know that LBW was the reason why we had those things. Like, I'm still in Kirsten's thunder, but something like street markers to identify what street is what street
Really?
in this town.
Oh my.
LBW is the driving force for getting that started in the 1920s.
Wow. That is amazing.
It gets me excited. Like, I can't wait to share it.
Wow, that is
with everyone.
great.
I know.
Wow. Yeah, and I want to say this about the fashion shows. Yes, I have been in the show and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and so to think that that's going to be coming back is really a good thing. And so people don't do fashion shows like they used to, so
they
that would
don't.
be a wonderful thing. Now, the 100-year anniversary, you've got some things planned for that. Oh, and I want to get this, make sure people know this too. It's not just a meeting. Tell us about the meetings.
So we have our luncheons on the second and fourth Wednesday of every single month. And we always try to bring in, we're switching things up. So now what we're doing is our first luncheon will be an informational luncheon. And then our second luncheon, we're going to try doing something more engaging with the ladies. Well, they're going to learn how to actually do something that will benefit them or their business. So our first luncheon will be opportunity for community people to come speak, nonprofits, other community organizations to come speak and inform the ladies of what's happening with them. And then that second luncheon will be something more engaging. This past luncheon, we kind of did a fill your cup exercise to see where ladies are drained or what else we could do to give more back to ourselves, because we're working women, we're moms, we're wives, we're aunts. We're daughters. All of those things come with something to do. So last luncheon we were like, so at some point in all of your jobs and your roles, you got to make some time for you. And all of us did not realize how much we don't make time for ourselves at all.
Yeah, it's time. Let me think what that means. Yeah, there's always something going on. And so the luncheon, though, is at the country club.
Yes, at the Lawton Country Club at noon. We are in the ballroom, and like I said again, always the second and fourth Wednesday of every single month.
And how much is it?
It is $20 for lunch. If you don't want lunch, just come sit and hang out with us and listen to the speaker.
Oh, yeah. And then there's soup and salad.
There's soup and salad, and it's good.
It is. It is. I love the soup and salad. But I like the idea of having the part of it where we learn something, where women are learning something, because that is so important that we continue to grow and to become. And what one person knows, the other one doesn't. So it really is a really cool thing.
It is. And there's so much we all have to share. Like, for example, you. A lot of the ladies are so afraid of public speaking, and you get in front of a camera and talk so wonderfully all the time. Like, there's tips you could teach us. If you want to know about insurance, I mean, I guess I could teach you. It's kind of boring, but we have accountants, we have real estate agents. Like, there's so much information and resources where when you make those connections, it's like life gets a little bit easier when you know people.
Yes. And you know, when you go to do something, whether it's purchase a home, a car, or whatever, and stuff, when you know somebody, when you can say, hey, oh, well, we're in the same organization, you know, and men have done it for years.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one thing I love about LBW is we have our mission. We try to do our work in the community, but it is absolutely a sisterhood. Yeah. I have met some women. I've only been in LBW for about 4.5 years, but I've already met women that I know are going to be my friends for the rest of my life, for sure. For sure.
Well, tell us about any of the things that are going to commemorate the centennial. What can people look forward to?
So really just, so our first event coming up is our centennial fundraiser on April 24th at 6 p.m. at Vista. And then after that, we will have several other centennial events. We're celebrating our birthday all year. We're one of those. So we'll have the fundraiser on the 24th. And then sometime soon after, we will also be having like a family barbecue kind of event. And then we've also been in talks about a sustainable item that we can put somewhere in the community to honor that legacy. So we're still in talks about that, but those are things that are to come. And I'm excited. I can't wait for the rest of the community to know what impact LBW has had on this community.
So what should people do if they want to, women do, if they want to become a part of the organization? How do they make contact?